Mr. President, Council wants to place this impeachment court in a direct collision course with the Supreme Court.
I overheard you saying that the impeachment court is higher than the Supreme Court. Do you still stand by your statement that the impeachment court is higher than the Supreme Court?
Well, it is higher in the sense that a sitting Supreme Court justice can be dismissed on impeachment cases by the impeachment court.
I really beg to disagree that the impeachment court is higher than the Supreme Court, Mr. President.
Anong mangyayari ngayon pag sinabi na natin ang isang justice of the Supreme Court at ayaw niya sumunod? Ano mangyayari ngayon kung ayaw niya? Sagutin mo.
You mean to tell this representation that we can summon the justices of the Supreme Court? What if they don't want to appear here? What can we do?
Ano ngayon mangyayari kung sabihin na namin, utusan namin ang justice at ayaw niyang sumunod? I-cite namin siya for contempt. Ano ngayon mangyayari? Magpapakulong ba siya sukat? Eh kung i-cite din niya kami for contempt. O ano ngayon ang sagot mo?
We actually did have this former Supreme Court justice appear before the impeachment court.
I remember, if my memory serves me right, we had an all-senators caucus meeting when Senator Escudero was still the Senate President. And we were discussing about this impending impeachment trial of against Vice President Sara Duterte. And we were discussing a lot of issues, various issues. No? And I overheard you saying that the impeachment court is higher than the Supreme Court. Do you still stand by your statement that the impeachment court is higher than the Supreme Court? Because I am not a lawyer, but I studied law for 4 years, but I really beg to disagree that the impeachment court is higher than the Supreme Court, Mr. President.
Well, it is higher in the sense that a sitting Supreme Court justice can be dismissed on impeachment cases by the impeachment court. In that regard, we are able to hold a Supreme Court justice to account. We render judgment. So it's a novel legal question and legal argument.
You mean to tell this representation that we can summon the justices of the Supreme Court? What if they don't want to appear here? What can we do?
Well, we actually summoned.
Can we just force them to?
We actually
appear
summoned.
before the Senate?
With due respect to our colleague, we actually did have this former Supreme Court justice appear before the impeachment court.
Who?
So.
Yeah,
Justice
I know
Corolla.
that because it was an impeachment.
And that is the context of why I said that as an impeachment court, we are supreme in our own jurisdiction, and maybe in fact higher than the Supreme Court in that regard when it comes to impeachment processes, because the supreme law of the land says so, that we have the sole power. Sole, it says sole power. It does not say anything else but sole power to try and decide impeachment cases.
Well, still, I beg to disagree with your opinion. I still believe in my own thoughts that the impeachment court is sui generis, and I think the impeachment court is sui generis, and I believe that the Supreme Court is still higher than anyone else, any court in particular, including the impeachment court.
In fact, Mr. President, in the impeachment case of Chief Justice Corona, when the Supreme Court issued a temporary restraining order, an injunction, and as to the bank accounts, I will remember this because the late Senator Enrile, who was our
Yes.
presiding officer, opted for us to vote on whether or not we would respect the ruling of the Supreme Court. In that regard, the vote was to respect the ruling.
I think that was only a resolution issued by the Supreme Court. It was not a decision.
No, it was a vote by the, I was there, Mr.
Yes,
President.
I was also there.
Yes,
I
you
was
were
also
there.
part
We
of the-
voted
I was
to
also part of
respect.
the
We
impeachment
voted to
trial.
respect 1210. We voted to respect the Supreme Court ruling.
Yes,
In
I
other
know.
words, we could have voted not to. But of course, that was not the case.
Yes, I know. I was.
And it was an exercise of our exclusive power as an impeachment court.
What if it was adverse to the decision?
Well, that's
of,
speculative,
the decision
Mr.
of the Supreme
President. The
Court. What
point
will
is,
happen?
that's speculative, Mr. President. The point is, we voted.
Yes, I
we
know.
did not decide to just respect the Supreme Court ruling. We voted as an impeachment court.
Yes, I
we
was-
exercised our authority as the supreme or the sole power, having the sole power and sole jurisdiction to try cases.
Yes, I was also one of them who voted to respect the decision or the resolution of the Supreme Court not to open the foreign, I think it was the foreign bank accounts of the late Chief Justice Corona. What I'm asking, kung sakasakali, what if the vote was overturned? I mean, 12-10 in favor of not respecting the opinion of the Supreme Court. What will happen?
Well, it's speculative, Mr. President.
No.
It didn't happen, so.
Yeah. Being a lawyer, maybe you can educate this representation because I am
Well,
not
also
a lawyer.
being a lawyer, if it's a speculative, if
Maybe
I'm
we
being
can-
asked to answer a scenario that's speculative, I'd rather wait for the actual case. In this actual and what I'm citing is the facts that when the Supreme Court ruled to enjoin us from accessing the bank accounts, we opted to vote whether we would respect the Supreme Court ruling or not. That is an exercise of the authority of the impeachment court over the Supreme Court.
Maybe we can ask.
Fortunately, and I think every lawyer must strive to harmonize what may appear to be conflicting provisions of the Constitution. And the Senate then voted 12-10 to respect the ruling of the Supreme Court and harmonize both powers. That is an exercise of the impeachment court. And therefore, it decided to archive the case in that regard. Oh, sorry. The vote to archive was not done by the impeachment court. It was done in plenary. Yes, so that would be a different set of facts.
All right. Okay, Mr. President. Does the Supreme Court has the authority to review the impeachment proceedings
Wala.
for grave abuse of discretion, for example?
Final yun eh. Unappealable yun.
The Supreme Court has the power to exercise.
Yung decision.
It has when there is grave abuse of discretion, the Constitution provides that power to the Supreme Court to intervene and to correct what may have been an abuse of authority or power of other branches of government.
Sa budget eh.
It's the power of judicial review.
Okay, assuming we convict a impeachable officer, can it be elevated to the Supreme Court? No more.
No.
Saksi Ro-
The
The Sup-
decision or the ruling of the impeachment court is final.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Again, maybe you can ask the opinion of maybe the court administrator or the justices of the Supreme Court here present with regard to my question propounded to you, Mr. President, with regard to the who is higher, the Supreme Court or the impeachment court.
Well, I think considering that there is still a motion for reconsideration on the positions taken by the House of Representatives, and there is a pending case, then they would prefer Yes, kulang daw ng 12. Kaya, but kidding aside, it would be sub judice.
Yan ang ating Bravo Balita. Salamat sa panonood. Follow at subscribe at like na po kayo sa aming Facebook, YouTube at TikTok channel.